Bill Murray is trending worldwide right now, and it's not because of a new movie, a comedy reunion, or one of his famously unpredictable public appearances. This time, the reason cuts far deeper, leaving fans shocked, confused, and emotionally divided. For decades, Murray has been Hollywood's lovable mystery, a man who made the world laugh while revealing almost nothing about himself. But what's happening now has pulled back the curtain in a way no one expected. Social media exploded almost overnight. Clips resurfaced. Old interviews took on new meaning. Stories once whispered quietly are now being discussed loudly, forcing fans to re-examine the image they thought they understood. For some, it feels like betrayal. For others, it's heartbreak. And for many, it's a sobering reminder that even the most beloved icons carry complicated truths behind their smiles. Bill Murray built a career on irony, sarcasm, and emotional distance. He played characters who were broken, cynical, lonely, and somehow hilarious. But as his name trends across platforms worldwide, people are beginning to wonder whether those roles were closer to reality than anyone realized. What's unfolding isn't just about headlines or online reactions. It's about legacy, accountability, and the uncomfortable moment when admiration collides with reality. The reason Bill Murray is trending right now has nothing to do with comedy and everything to do with how the world is finally confronting the parts of fame that laughter once hid. This is the story behind the trend. And once you understand why Bill Murray is dominating global conversation right now, it becomes impossible to look at his legacy the same way again. Bill Murray's story begins far from the Hollywood limelight. In Wilmette, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, where he grew up in a working-class family. Born in 1950, Murray was the fifth of 9 children in a lively household that taught him the value of humor, resilience, and independence. From an early age, he showed a gift for making people laugh, whether in school hallways or family gatherings. But he was also intensely observant, a trait that would later define both his comedic timing and the subtle complexity of his characters. Before stardom, Murray's career was anything but guaranteed. He cut his teeth in improv with Chicago's famed Second City troupe, learning how to think quickly, react naturally, and infuse humor with nuance. It was here that Murray discovered the power of unpredictability, a skill that would make him both a beloved icon and an enigma. Unlike many comedians of his era, he never chased fame for its own sake. Instead, he honed his craft quietly, often disappearing for months between projects, leaving collaborators unsure whether he would show up or vanish into obscurity. His breakthrough came with Saturday Night Live in the late 1970s, where his irreverent deadpan style quickly became a national sensation. Murray's sketches combined absurdity with subtle humanity, often revealing a vulnerability beneath the humor that audiences found irresistible. This unique ability to balance comedy with emotional depth set him apart from his peers and laid the groundwork for a career that would span decades. Film followed naturally. Movies like Caddyshack, Ghostbusters, and Groundhog Day showcased his range from wild, anarchic comedy to contemplative, almost philosophical roles. Yet despite commercial success, Murray remained famously unpredictable. He turned down roles, disappeared from sets, and famously appeared unannounced at parties, weddings, and small-town events, cultivating a persona that blurred the lines between character and reality. Fans adored the mystique, but behind the charm was a man fiercely protective of his personal life. One who valued autonomy over fame, and who refused to be confined by Hollywood expectations. By the early 2000s, Murray had solidified his legacy as both a comedic genius and a cultural enigma. Yet his life was not without complexity. Interviews hinted at melancholy, tension, and a sense of being an outsider, even at the height of fame. The public saw the laughter, but Murray navigated a private world filled with introspection, missteps, and decisions that would later resurface in ways no one could have predicted. It is this combination of brilliance and mystery that makes Murray's story so compelling. He is not just a performer. He is an icon whose life mirrors the contradictions of comedy itself: joy and pain, unpredictability and calculation, accessibility and elusiveness. And it is precisely this duality that has led to the moment we see now. A worldwide trend that forces fans to confront the parts of Bill Murray's life that have long remained just out of reach. Bill Murray's career is a masterclass in balancing genius with unpredictability. After skyrocketing to fame with Saturday Night Live, he transitioned seamlessly into film, becoming one of Hollywood's most beloved actors. Yet, what made Murray remarkable wasn't just the breadth of his work, it was the way he refused to follow conventional paths. He became a star while simultaneously avoiding the very machinery that typically sustains fame. Films like Caddyshack and Ghostbusters catapulted him into the mainstream, while Groundhog Day and Lost in Translation revealed a subtler, almost philosophical side of his craft. Audiences laughed, but they also connected to something deeper. Murray's ability to portray characters who were at once flawed, human, and quietly resilient. This balance of absurdity and authenticity became his signature, and it earned him both critical acclaim and a devoted fan base that admired not only his talent but his unpredictability. Yet with fame came the pressures of scrutiny. Murray's personal approach to celebrity disappearing between projects, ignoring public expectations and showing up unannounced at random events made him legendary, but also complicated. Studios, co-stars, and media outlets never fully understood how to handle him. At times, his behavior was interpreted as eccentricity. Other times, it was questioned as irresponsibility. What outsiders saw as chaos, Murray saw as freedom, a refusal to be boxed into a conventional Hollywood mold. Behind the laughs, however, there was tension. His private life remained intensely guarded, and rumors occasionally surfaced about strained relationships, missed commitments, or conflicts on set. While the public admired his spontaneity, there were consequences. Projects were affected, perceptions shifted, and the narrative around Murray became increasingly complex. Fans adored the mystique, but media outlets began to frame him as an enigma whose brilliance was inseparable from his unpredictability. As the decades passed, Murray's choices amplified his mystique. He would suddenly leave premieres, vanish from social media, or appear in a small town without warning. Each appearance or absence fueled speculation, creating an aura that blurred the line between the man and the legend. And now, with Bill Murray trending worldwide, all of these elements have collided. The fascination isn't just about a new performance, it's about the personal truths, the hidden moments, and the unexpected actions that have finally resurfaced in a way that the world can no longer ignore. What made Murray exceptional professionally, his originality, risk-taking, and refusal to conform also made him complicated personally. Fans and critics alike are realizing that the man they cheered for is far more nuanced than any film or sketch can capture. And it is this very complexity, this mixture of brilliance and mystery, that lies at the heart of the story dominating headlines today. Bill Murray's life has always been a balance between charm and chaos, laughter and complexity. For decades, fans adored his eccentricities, the spontaneous appearances, the jokes at unexpected events, the stories of him showing up at weddings or pickup basketball games without warning. But now the world is seeing another side. A side that reminds everyone that even beloved icons carry weighty truths behind the smiles. The reason Murray is trending worldwide is tied to resurfaced stories and events that many had forgotten or never fully understood. Certain controversies and personal challenges, long overshadowed by his comedic brilliance, are now under intense scrutiny. From rumored conflicts with colleagues to situations that questioned his judgment, the narrative around Murray has shifted. The public is realizing that the man who seemed untouchable, whose humor often disguised deeper layers, has faced difficult realities that were never part of the spotlight. This moment has been shocking because Murray's persona has always seemed untouchable. For years, he was Hollywood's lovable enigma, the actor who could walk away from projects, defy studio expectations, and still command respect. Fans celebrated his unpredictability as charm. Now, the same unpredictability is being examined differently, with questions about accountability, personal decisions, and the consequences of a lifetime spent navigating fame on his own terms. Yet amid this scrutiny, one truth remains: Bill Murray is human. He has faced loneliness, pressure, and the relentless expectations of an audience that loves his characters but rarely sees the man behind them. Every choice he made, every eccentric act, was influenced by decades of navigating an industry that often misunderstands authenticity. His brilliance came at a personal cost, a cost the public is only now beginning to fully comprehend. The shock comes not from a single headline or event, but from the collision of past and present. The same stories that once amused fans are now reframed in a different light, And the dichotomy between Murray's public persona and private reality has become impossible to ignore. People are grappling with the realization that a life lived in the spotlight, even when cloaked in humor, carries consequences. And that those we admire most are often navigating struggles invisible to the world. As the global conversation grows, it becomes clear that Bill Murray's story is more than comedy or controversy. It is a reminder that fame, genius, and personal choices are intertwined, and that even the most adored figures have complex, sometimes uncomfortable truths. What the world sees today is not simply a trending story, it is the unveiling of layers that have always existed, quietly shaping the life of one of the most fascinating actors of our time. Now, as Bill Murray trends worldwide, it's clear that his story is about more than just controversy or headlines. It is about legacy, the complexity of fame, and the human reality behind the icon. For decades, Murray has been a symbol of unpredictability, humor, and genius, but the current attention forces a deeper reckoning. The public is confronting the man behind the persona, the choices behind the laughter, and the cost of living a life that has always defied expectation. Murray's legacy is multifaceted. He revolutionized comedy with a blend of subtlety, timing, and emotional depth that few could replicate. Films like Groundhog Day and Lost in Translation are not just entertaining, they are studies in humanity, capturing loneliness, hope, and resilience in ways that resonate far beyond the screen. His impact is undeniable. Countless actors, comedians, and filmmakers cite his work as transformative. Yet his influence is inseparable from his mystique. The sense that Murray is a man who lives according to his own rules, for better or worse. The events driving today's global trend are a reminder that even icons are human. Murray's life, like anyone's, contains contradictions, difficult decisions, and moments that challenge public perception. Fans are confronting the idea that admiration must coexist with complexity, that someone who brings immense joy can also have flaws, missteps, or private struggles. This realization is uncomfortable, yet it is what makes his story compelling, relevant, and deeply human. What resonates most is the courage to be oneself in the face of expectation. Murray has never conformed for popularity, avoided judgment, or sacrificed authenticity for convenience. This independence, while inspiring, has also created tension, controversy, and moments of public debate. And now the world is witnessing the consequences, the lessons, and the weight of a life fully lived on one's own terms. Bill Murray's story reminds us that legacy is not just measured by accolades, box office numbers, or awards. It is measured by the willingness to take risks, to embrace vulnerability, and to persist with integrity, even when the world misunderstands you. It is about laughter and humanity coexisting, about brilliance paired with imperfection, and about the enduring impact of someone who refuses to be confined by convention. As the conversation unfolds worldwide, the fascination is not only with what happened, but with what it all reveals. A man whose life, like his work, is layered, unpredictable, and unforgettable. Bill Murray's journey teaches us that even the most celebrated figures face complexity, and that admiration and accountability can coexist. The world cannot stop talking, not just because of the shocking details, but because, beneath it all, this is a story about authenticity, courage, and the enduring power of living life on your own terms.